Hey everyone, welcome to, I guess it's really sort of technically the first official Yarny Chick podcast because I didn't call it the first one Yarny Chick podcast, but it's our second podcast. How is everybody today? It is a dreary day today, which means it's a great day to be knitting or crocheting. And I've done a little bit of that today. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, because there's so many other things that need to be done here, but that's okay. You got to take a little bit of time every once in a while and just dig into your project. Okay, so I'm going to start with a little yarn inspiration. And today it is, I'm kind of a sucker for skinny yarn, so I tend to go towards those. I just think it's a more delicate look. And so I'm going to talk about this Ultra Wool Fine right now. It's such a pretty Ultra Wool Fine. It's by Barocco. We have a few colors in the shop. It is really a fun, squishy yarn to work with. It's not really, really soft, but it's soft. And after you block it, of course, it gets a lot softer. But I use this color for the project I'm going to show you in just a minute, but we also have this color, which I think is really pretty. And then, and that's the original color for the project that I did, but I chose this one because then I can wear it more. This is not really my color. This is. And then I've also got this sort of denim. It's hard. It doesn't show up as bluish on the screen here, but it is. It's called Stonewashed, I believe, and it's got a blue tinge to it, so it's like really washed jeans, and it's really a pretty color, so that'd be a good one to use too. So those are great, and they're big skeins too. They're 400 yards, so you can get a lot out of it. So yeah, if you're interested in those, they're a lot of fun to work with. But I wanted to show you also the project that if you've been in the shop, you've seen it. But just in case you haven't been in the shop, I wanted to show. This is called the Cressida, and this is a really great, it's a free pattern, and I will post it on here, of course. But you can see the edge. It's got these great scalloped edges and these great little clusters of stitches right there. And it didn't take long at all. And then, of course, it's a triangular shape. And it's got that great open work in the middle. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful date night shawl or something like that. You could take it into a restaurant, even in the summer, where there's too much air conditioning. Again, that's why I go for these things, because you need one for every outfit you have, right? But you can use these in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be cold outside for you to use these sometimes. But this one is a really nice big one so that you can use it if it's chilly, or, it's a great wraparound. I leave it up here in the shop just because it's such a pretty color. I may have to use it here and there because I haven't worn it really. I've only left it up in the shop, but I love it, so I got to wear it. So anyway, that's our inspiration. There's another, a really great sweater that is made, the pattern specifically uses Ultra Wool Fine that I will also post here. It's a cardigan with a really cool edge around the bottom to it. So I will post that here as well. And then you can, make your choice as to a couple of these different ones. But anyway, that's one of my favorites. Okay, so let's talk about, all right, I don't know what happened. Something stopped the camera. So anyway, so let's talk about doing things the right way. So I hear that a lot when people come in the shop, that they'll say, oh, I don't think I do this right, or I don't hold the needle right or the hook right. Or one lady comes in and she'll say, I do this a really strange way or whatever. So I want to talk about that because as far as I see it, there is no wrong way. If somebody's telling you you're knitting wrong or you're crocheting wrong, don't listen to them. There are as many ways to do this as there are people. If you are pulling the hoop through the loop through the other loop, and it's making the pattern you want it to make, you are doing it the right way. It drives me crazy for somebody to think they're not doing it right. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. So I've had people like, I just taught somebody, gosh, it's been a couple weeks ago, and she was a crocheter. I mean, like that's what she had done. I'm looking for a needle. That's what she'd done forever and ever, ever. And so she wanted to learn how to knit. I said, fine, great. Awesome. And you already know about yarn tension and stuff like that. So knitting won't be a big deal for you. Okay. So I was showing her how to do continental style, because when you're a crocheter, that usually works better. You're already holding the yarn in the other hand, and you scoop anyway. And so I showed her how to do it, but she was holding her right hand like a hook, and she was scooping with how she would do when she was crocheting. She was still getting the loop through the loop. She was doing just fine, and she was getting the stitches. That's all that matters, y'all. Don't try to say, or don't tell yourself that you're doing things wrong when your outcome is right. It doesn't matter. Knitting, crocheting, there's no right way. You should just be enjoying yourself. That's really the right way. The right way is to enjoy yourself doing it. And if you get the right stitches. Now, if you're twisting something or your cables aren't coming out right or whatever, that's a different matter. But the way you hold it, if you're wrapping it or throwing it or picking it or whatever, that's all personal preference. So let's just help each other enjoy this wonderful craft that we have, and just lift each other up instead of saying you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I don't like that at all, especially if they're getting the outcome they need. So that's my take on it. Okay, so I want to show you something I'm working on. Now, this is not yarn that I have in the shop. I went to Kansas City in December to visit my mom, and I picked this out. I don't know why. It's not, I mean, it does have orange in it, which is my favorite color, but it's not anything that I would have picked normally, which is really funny. But maybe that's just because it's so different than what I would normally pick. I don't know. Anyway, I love trying new things. Like I said in the last video, I have been in production mode doing samples for the shop and things like that. And of course, Christmas and stuff. And I started, I just dropped my ball. I started to pick up another project to do for the shop, and I just said, you know what? I need to do a little personal making right now. So I chose a crochet pattern, which I don't normally do. I am a much better knitter than I am a crocheter. I still, every once in a while, feel a little like I'm not really sure what I'm doing when I'm crocheting, but I'm getting there, and it's so much fun to get there. So pull this loop out so I don't lose it. But this is called the Florence shawl, and again, I'll put it on the video. Isn't it fun? And this yarn, you can't really, I mean, you know, these videos don't ever do anything justice, but it is oranges and pinks and a tiny bit of yellow and purples, and it is a crazy combination of colors, but I'm loving it. And I did have to buy another skein because, of course, you know, you get in those shops and you go, oh, that one skein is so pretty. And then because this is a fairly good sized shawl and it's crochet, it takes a lot more yarn. So I did have to order another one, but I'm just in love with it. And this little middle part here is so much fun and so easy. I love how it looks really complicated, but it's really not at all. So don't ever let a pattern intimidate you. Just dig in. And of course, if you need any help, you can always come by the shop and we will do our best to get you where you need to be. I remember when I was very early open, one of my customers, that she's a winter Texan, so she's not here all the time. And she had this crazy, okay, this is really annoying. It is just stopping. I don't know if maybe I'm hitting something and I don't realize it. So sorry about that. I'm going to have to splice these together, but I will try not to touch my computer again. Anyway, this winter Texan came in with this really cool butterfly stitch. And Stephanie, if you're watching, it's you and you know. But we sat down and we figured it out because it was the strangest stitch, but it turned out really cool. So it was not an easy one to figure out, but we did. And that's the thing. Don't be worried about, oh, I don't think I can do this. You can, because frankly, knitting and crochet is not really that hard. You just dig in and do it. And there are so many people here around that can help you if you're stuck on something. Get online, whatever it is. You can figure it out. One way or another, you can figure it out. Okay. Okay. So then our last segment, I always throw in my natural health 2 cents kind of thing in our Being Well segment. And today we're going to talk about gut health. And if you've been in my shop at all or talked to me, anywhere at all, I'm all about gut health, because gut health is tied to everything. And I mean everything. It helps with your emotions, your physical, how you feel everywhere else, your immunity. It helps. It's tied to everything. The bacteria in your gut are very, very important. If you have, a lot of people have been sick lately. If you have, you need to make sure, if you've taken antibiotics, if you've had to take antibiotics anytime lately, you really need to definitely pay attention to your gut, because antibiotics will strip all the good bacteria out of your gut. And so you really need to use a probiotic, eat fermented foods, that kind of stuff, and get those good bacteria growing again in your gut. And that will help you fight off the next time there's germs floating around in the air, which is during winter, it's a lot more. So anyway, so let's talk about gut health. So fermented foods. So yogurt, pickles, but pickles only from the refrigerated case. And yeah, they don't last as long, but they're also better for you. Sauerkraut, kimchi, stuff like that are fermented and really good for your gut. The bacteria that grows in the fermentation process really will help your gut. The other options are you can sort of ferment your own foods. I'm a big fan of a way of cooking called Nourishing Traditions, and you end up soaking a lot of stuff in a mixture of water and either yogurt or apple cider vinegar. You can't really taste it. You can on a few things a little bit here. Okay, so it's official. I have to get a better way to record this. Anyway, so fermentation. So let me give you an example of something that we do that is, it's not really I guess it is sort of like a mini fermentation. So oatmeal. When you eat oatmeal just normally, there is a coating on the outside of an oat that actually keeps you from digesting all the good parts of it. If you soak it overnight in a mixture of water and either yogurt or apple cider vinegar, it will break down that outer coating. Boy, I'm having a hard time saying that today. It will break down that outer coating and allow your body to digest it better. You can do that for, for oatmeal. You can do that when you're making bread. You can do that for beans. Lots of different things you can do that for. Okay, so there's ways of doing that, of helping your gut health with food. You can also take a probiotic. Probiotics pump those good bacteria into your stomach, into your gut. And they will really help you get your gut into a good, healthy place. It adds all the good bacteria in there if you've lost it. So if you are on antibiotics, the second you're done with your antibiotics, start taking a probiotic. I recommend Life 9 because I know where everything comes from. I'm like a real big stickler about knowing, where that plant matter came from. What are they doing to take care of it? How does it get bottles? Is it tested like crazy? All that stuff. So I'm also a researcher like crazy. So that's the important part to me too. Y'all, stopped again. I literally did not touch my computer. So crazy. Anyway, that's why I choose that, because I can count on transparency from growing the thing to the bottling. If you want some ideas on how this will work for you, let me know. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Also, I will post, of course, in the notes for this, what some of these things are that you can do to help your gut. Okay. That was a lot of cuts on this video. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know why. Literally, it just stops. So I think I'm going to try something different, and hopefully we'll have a better outcome. I'm going to go ahead and still just, you're seeing this pasted together because I'm not doing it again. Okay, so thank you for watching the very first Yarny Chick podcast. And yeah, hopefully you'll stick around and share it with all your friends, and we'll get this going with a better video recorder next time. Thanks for your patience. Bye.